John.
I shouldn't laugh. I'm sorry. I feel bad now.
Yeah,
You have been robbed. You've been actually robbed.
I've actually been robbed. Someone broke into WAD Prep headquarters yesterday morning, and I was actually woken up. I was in a deep, deep slumber.
Oh, you were
I never
there?
set my, I never no, I never set my alarm on the weekends at my
Right.
house. Like, when if I can sleep in, I go until my body wakes me up. And then my ex-wife I just hear her yelling, "Ben, get up!" And I'm just like, "What is this? Is this a dream?" And Shelby is at the back door, just screaming, like hoping that I don't have any sleepovers, any friends over. And she's just like, "Ben, get up! WAD Prep got robbed." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, the cops have been," and I got up and talked to her, and she's like, "Yeah, the cops have been calling me. I guess they looked up your name, they found my name, they've been calling me because she still has my last name." And then we carpooled over with the dogs and met the police officer, and the cop was very nice. He was also very apologetic because I'm pretty sure he did a drive-by because he got called in by the neighbor who had like a camera, who's like, "Hey, suspicious vehicle. I'm pretty sure someone's getting robbed. Like, this looks sketchy as hell. Call the police." He doesn't get there for like 30 plus minutes. It's a small town. It shouldn't take that long. This is in Arvada. Um, he takes a long time to get there, and then he's like telling me, he's like, "Yeah, I did a drive-by, and I just really thought there was a bunch of people working out. So I had to go to the bathroom, so I left. So I think he had to leave to take a dump or something like that." And then he comes back, and he's like, "And then I realized that it probably was the people who were stealing stuff from you." Because he came back and like the garage door was wide open, and yeah, anyway, so it was
That
hard to
guy's
get
not.
any details from him, but
That guy is not getting a WAD Prep discount. I can guarantee you this.
he's not getting the WAD Prep discount. So
Man,
yeah, they didn't steal very much though, which is I was really hoping they stole the assault bike and the rower, both untouched. They
well,
didn't touch any fitness equipment actually. The only thing they did steal was my Dyson vacuum, a couple speakers like JBL little speaker things, and I'm sure they stole some other stuff, but nothing that like really really jumps out. I think they were looking for. They did steal a camera, but the camera was from like 2010, so unless it qualifies as an antique, it's probably worthless. Yeah, they really didn't steal anything. My iMac was still there. My I have like a $2,000 light bulb that we use. That was still there. Like basically all the actual expensive stuff was still there. So yeah, that's
so
that.
I have a theory that if we're going to, here's what you need to call the cop and tell him what he should be looking for. He should be looking for a master's athlete who's a CrossFitter because they left all the assault bikes and rowers, and they didn't take any of your technology. So that person's absolutely a master's athlete, no doubt in my mind.
Well, they did, and yeah, you know what? That make it checks out because they did take a. I had a red cabinet, like a red cheapo steel like storage cabinet. They took the whole thing, and I'm just like, why did they take? They must have thought that there was like a money box in there or something like that.
Right.
But instead, even better, there were paper plates, plastic cutlery, a couple like Ethernet cables, and I think 10 WAD Prep training journals. And I think maybe a Do Hard Things flag. I think that was it.
Maybe they'll learn how to do a muscle up from your notes.
Yeah, maybe. It was it was definitely a violation, but it was funny because I was back home within the hour watching the Ravens game on TV, and like just like I like even later that day I was like, "Oh shoot, yeah, I forgot about that. I got robbed earlier." Like it just did not faze me. So I guess maybe it's an invitation for someone to come back and really lay it on me, but thankfully nothing really big was stolen. All the fitness equipment is still there. I'm still going to be able to shoot videos come Thursday, and I'm really thankful that my videographer didn't have any of his gear there. And I'll obviously never let him leave his gear there overnight in any capacity ever again, because that would have been an expensive thing. So luckily we're good to go there.
I'm really dying to unpack this whole concept of your wife where you had a sleepover and you made it sound like she was worried there were multiple people there. So we need to talk off the air more about what your private life's looking like these days, because I feel like I'm missing out on something.
No, that's not at all. I mean, she was just like, she, we have obviously like she owns this house and we're very amicable. Like we're still really good friends, but like we obviously like we don't barge in on each other because we never know if someone's on a date or whatever. So she comes over at like 10 in the morning and is just like hoping that there's no one there with me, like I'm not on a date or don't have someone like staying the weekend or something
Right.
like that. Because it would just be a really awkward thing to be like, hey, sorry, my ex-wife's at the front door. Like, let me go grab that real quick. But nope, just me, myself, and I hanging out, sleep until 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
Me, myself, and I. That sounds like the worst three-way ever.
Yeah, it's pretty boring.
Really terrible. Hey, we can finally talk about me being a gym owner now.
We can. I'm very excited that now I can not only see more affiliate ownership memes coming from you, but additionally, I was trying to figure out when I can come visit, and I really think that I'm not going to be able to pull it off this December like I wanted to for the Browns Ravens game. So what I'm hoping for is to get over there for potentially one of the open workouts. I think that would be really cool.
I think that would be very fun. I'm still a member at Crooked River. I went there today and they destroyed me. So I'm probably going to cough some during this podcast. Mm-hmm. But obviously still training at the new affiliate a couple of days a week too. So it's good, man. I'm excited. We're going to.
How far away from your residence is it?
25 minutes, give or take. It's not too far. It's a really pretty drive for whatever that's worth. And it's a gorgeous gym, 6,000 square feet. So tons of space. It's kind of like laid out like an aircraft hangar. So it's, big, wide, long, like it's kind of perfect that way.
Sweet.
And, a lot of opportunity to upgrade the facilities. I mean, it's good. Those facilities are fine now, but, just the sheer amount of space gives us a lot of flexibility for what we want to do long term, which is very, very cool. And, my partners, I talked about this on the other show, but my partners, Jen, who is the founder and will still be there. She'll be the majority owner and is really like the heart and soul of the gym. Like, does all the programming, just really knows everyone. And then my other partner, Tom, who is Tom McCoy from CrossFit Health, is going to bring, help us up our nutrition and medical game. And I think it's a really good, kind of triplet between the three of us to be able to really help people in that local community. So it's cool. Very excited.
I'm super stoked for the archery range that he's going to install.
Well, you joke about that, but I'm pretty confident he's going to.
Oh, if I know him and the vibes I got from him is he has his priorities in line. There'll be an archery range of some sort.
Yeah. It's a nice community, dude. I think I'm excited to be a part of it and to get started. But in the interim, I'm still training for Waza and still, doing my thing. We had this horrible workout today I want to talk about because I've been coughing all day long.
And it wasn't Fran?
No, but the more I thought about it, I naively didn't notice that it was very Fran-like until it was over. And then I noticed very quickly.
Were there thrusters and pull-ups involved?
Virtually. So it was, here's what it was. It was 4-time, 40 box jump overs, 24 inches, 40 wall balls. So they're your thrusters, 20 burpee pull-ups, chest to bar.
Okay.
And then you go back down the ladder. You do 40 more wall balls, 40 more burpee box jumps, or not burpee box jumps, box jump overs. And so, you get started, you get your heart rate up on the box jumps, and then you're right into what are essentially thrusters, but wall balls, so lighter than Fran, but there's 40 of them.
More right annoying thrusters, I would say.
Yeah. And then you're doing burpee pull-ups, so you've got that, your chest to deck and chest to the bar, and it was miserable. Like I naively went in thinking, all right, I'll give myself a good pace on the first two movements, which I did. And then I'll let my heart rate drop in the burpee pull-ups and I'll blast through the last two movements. And none of that happened the way I wanted it to.
Heart rate dropping on burpee pull-ups is like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of movement for your heart rate to drop.
Well, I took them slow. I was stepping up, like I'd drop to the floor and then I'd step into it, to try to slow it down, and there was no slowing it down. Now, we've talked about this the last couple of weeks, but what really impacted me more than anything else, over the weekend, I went to Wheelwide, which is the adaptive competition in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I spent 3 days traveling, and I didn't have full control because of who I was traveling with, or I traveled by myself, but I had friends driving me around, so I didn't have my own car, and so I was at somebody else's mercy for food,
Oh, I hope
which
they went to
sucked.
Chick-fil-A.
And then I didn't sleep well because I was in the hotel, and so it's kind of that nasty combination of bad, different nutrition habits. It wasn't necessarily bad, but different nutrition habits and lack of sleep. And then you throw in the travel with it, and it made today miserable. So
Nice.
proof that you need to sleep and eat right, and it will impact your workouts. And
Yeah.
So I've been coughing all day long since then. So
I had a pretty nasty workout today too, and I wanted to tell everyone on air that despite being the workout strategy guy, I have never misjudged. Let's just put it this way: it's been a very long time since I've misjudged a workout so bad.
I love it.
And just got my butt kicked. Like, I got my ass handed to me.
Well, what was the workout? Give it to me.
So it was a 16-minute AMRAP of 10 dumbbell deadlifts, 10 wall ball sit-ups, or medicine ball sit-ups, excuse me, and then 10 box jump overs. That's it. There's a 30-second rest between rounds.
Wait, hold on. So wait, it's a 16-minute AMRAP, 10 dumbbell deadlifts. How heavy were the dumbbells?
They're supposed to be 50. Obviously, I did 70.
Obviously, because you don't want to take it easy on yourself.
No. And I mean, it's easy. It's 10 deadlifts. Come on.
Yeah, easy. All right, then all right. And then you had med ball sit-ups.
Med ball sit-ups where you go overhead at the top.
Yep.
And they were with a 20-pound med ball. And then the box jump overs were 24 inches. And then you get done a round and you rest 30 seconds where you start your next round, like forced rest within the AMRAP. And there's several fit people in the class, but there's one guy who's pretty quick, right? And I knew he was going to be fast. He grabbed 60-pounders. I don't think there were any 60s left, so I'm like, screw it, I'll do 70s. Like this workout doesn't seem that hard. Like, I'll be able to keep pace. That 30-second rest is going to feel amazing, and I'll crush it, whatever. So I do the first round, crush it, and I'm way ahead of everybody. Do the second round, way ahead of everybody. Third round, I'm increasing my lead, or so I think. By the time I get to my sixth round, I'm just I look over at the coach, Liz, who she actually taught her a couple movements at WOD Prep before, taught her some bar muscle up stuff. I look over at Liz. She's a great coach, and I'm just like, Liz, I done messed up. And she's just kind of yeah, man, if you keep going, you're going to get 15 rounds. I'm like, I'll barely pass 10. And sure enough, I got 10 rounds. I just crumbled because what do you think was the limiting factor?
Well, I'm looking at it, trying to decide that. I mean, you get the deadlift, so you've blown up your hammies, and then you're doing the sit-ups, and you're blowing up your core, and then you're doing the box jumps over. So now you're hitting your quads. I don't know, dude. I mean, it's everything from the belly button down, basically. I mean, it's got to be just exhausting in hell. What was killing you?
The thing that killed me, and something I should have maybe seen, is the combination of the deadlifts and the box jump overs. My low back absolutely blew up because I was doing the deadlifts like an asshole, just flying through them, and they were so easy for the first 4 or 5 rounds, and then again, like I said, that probably about the 6th round, it was I'd been hit by a truck. And I was I started moving slow. My transitions got slow, and I ended up only getting 10 rounds. I think that the other guy in class who used a 60-pounder, he got 11 rounds, so he get a whole round extra. And I just was oh my gosh, I've never, I don't think I've underestimated a workout that bad in a very, very, I am rusty at 1, exercising, but 2, estimating workouts. And that it mopped the floor with my ego, essentially. So it was a good learning experience. In hindsight, I think I could get the 11 rounds or maybe more if I just am smart and realize it's a 16-minute AMRAP, like you probably
Right.
should pump the brakes a bit. I literally looked at this workout as like I can do 30 reps full speed, have a 30-second rest, and be able to keep the pace. Because like when you rest 1-to-1, roughly speaking, like a lot of times you feel really recovered. But it turned out that each round would take about 45 seconds. So then the rest was shorter than
Right.
each round was taking, and it just compounded. It got worse and worse and worse and worse. And then by the end, I was moving pretty slow. I was moving pretty slow.
Well, definitely if you're not, which I doubt you were, knowing if you're moving that fast, you couldn't, if you're moving that fast, fully extend on the box jump. Like if you're doing those deadlifts, you kind of have, if you don't want your back to blow up, you almost have to extend on those box jumps. Now, you would look at the programming and go, well, with the sit-ups, you're getting that extension, so that should give you enough of a break. But knowing how fast you move, which is only just a little bit less fast as me. I remember from our contest at Forging Youth Resilience. Yeah, I can see where it could blow up your back. I ran into them, by the way, this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Our peeps at Fire. Yeah, I told them we wanted to do another competition next year at the games. That you're emotionally still scarred from that beating I gave you, and
make sure that we weigh and measure the elements and have some more strict standards. But yeah, I'm down. I'm ready.
It's not my fault. You don't want to work to your capacity. It's fine.
Oh,
Right,
so yeah, man, it was a very underestimated workout. So it was humbling for sure. Humbling.
That's a good one. I'm gonna write that one down, and I'll do it myself and see if I can beat your score. Spoiler: I'm going to.
And
All
then
right.
also make sure you 70-pound dumbbells. I definitely need to see that. And then the other, if you pace yourself, you'll do it for sure. I mean, it was one of those things where like I hit the brick wall so hard that it's like, well, yeah, okay, I messed this one up. And if you hold back at like, rather than going 100% each round like I was the first few rounds, like if you hold back at 85% and just coast, then you can finish faster than you started and you'll crush it.
No, I've got old man ankles. Box jump overs are not my friend.
And then also the strength portion, which was in the beginning, was just building to, it was 5 sets of 5 shoulder press, but we weren't allowed to like bounce. We weren't allowed to touch and go. And holy crap, so much weaker when I can't touch. Like there's something about the ascent, just like with strict handstand push-ups. Like if I can touch the barbell and go straight up, not even bouncing it per se, but just like you don't relax at all at the bottom of each rep, or you have less time under tension. It's like I can get through 5 reps at 165 probably. Today I hit 145 was the only set of 5 I could do, and then I failed at 155. So it was just crazy. Like bringing the bar back down, pausing for a second in between each rep. It's amazing how much difference that made.
We're talking open prep tonight. I'm looking at this workout you did and listening to the stuff you did today. It's very open-esque. Like, are you putting any thought into getting ready for the open, or are you just trying to get back in the swing of things right now?
None. Zero. The only thought I have to get back in the open or Wodapalooza shape is like, I'm proud of myself today because I looked at the workout, and that's the kind of work where I'm like, not interested. Like I'll just, like if it's not sexy or cool, I'll just like write it off, which is a terrible, terrible habit. Everyone listening, I'm not condoning this behavior, but it's the reality of what I've faced in the last few months. But today I was like, I had an opening from 12-1, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to freaking go in. Even if I don't like this workout, I'm doing it because showing up is the key for me right now. So that's my mantra, is just show up. Even if you don't like it, just show up. Even if it's a workout that you think you're going to crush, like prove it. Go do it, because I realized that when I skip, like had I skipped that workout, I wouldn't have had any movement today. And I know that's going to make me less fit than more fit. So even if it's not a workout, but of course I went in and I'm like, holy crap, that crushed me. That was way better than I expected in terms of a stimulus perspective. So bottom line is my whole thing between now and Wodapalooza is just show up. If I can work out 3 days a week leading up to Wodapalooza, that's honestly good for me. Mixed in with all the other stuff that I do, like snowboarding season is starting and pickleball playoffs are coming up and things like that. But really, like in terms of actually getting into a gym and exercising, if I can do 3 days a week, I'll be pretty happy with myself.
Do you hype yourself up before a workout at all? Or do you just roll into it and just whatever happens, happens?
What do you mean by hype yourself up? Like
Well,
music and
like
stimulant wise, or?
no. I don't mean like pre-workout. I mean like positive talk, positive self-talk. I had my workout today and I went into it and quite literally before it started, like said, I'm not ready for this. Like I could feel still kind of exhausted from the trip. And I feel like part of my negative self-talk contributed to my poor performance in the workout.
Hmm.
Now I could be wrong about that. Maybe I'm just, cherry picking it, but I guess I'm just curious, like, do you ever have that experience? Do you talk yourself up before a workout? Does it ever cross your mind? Like, how's it impact you?
You know, I don't think I really try not to think about it too much. I mean, generally speaking, the only self talk I have is I check to see what the workout is, and I'm like, does it look fun? Yes or no. If it looks fun, I'll do my best to get there. If it doesn't look fun, I'm not going. Like that's
Sure.
the reality of what my workouts have been recently. In years past, like in the past, especially when I was doing a lot more volume and actually competing, yes, like I had like I was very much mentally in tune with like, all right, here's my goal for this workout. If I can hit this unbroken, then that's a big win for me, knowing that this is a weakness, yada yada yada. Or like if I can hold on to this pace for this long, that's a win for me. Anymore though, like my mantra is like just show up. Like me getting done a workout is like, all right, buddy, you did it. Right. I try not to do too much self-talk, whether it's positive or negative, because simply to me it's all positive
Right.
if I show up and get the work done.
I
um
wonder if we should get Dawn back on to talk about this at some point. For those that are listening or watching, Dawn Fletcher, what's her company? Mind Training. What's it
it's
called?
called Driven Mind Training.
Driven Mind Training. Dawn's awesome. She's a mental coach, and I'm would be curious, and you can give me your opinion on it. But it made me think today, like during the open, we go into those workouts really excited. You get Friday Night Lights, and everybody's pumped and they're ready to give their best effort, and you've spent all day long, kind of nuancing what you're going to do, and then you go out on the floor and you don't do anything you plan to do. It just goes to shit, and you leave frustrated, and you come back 3 days later all excited, and you redo the workout, and it works the second time. Like that's the spirit of the open, right? But I wonder, how do we translate that feeling of excitement and planning that we have in the open into our everyday training now so we can be really prepared when the open hits, in 8 weeks or however long it is from now.
Yeah, that'd be a really good chat with her, because obviously, like we mentioned kind of early on in this series, the open throws a lot of people for a loop because of the amount of like there's so many variables that are different. Like you'll have morning exercisers working out
Yeah.
at 5:30 p.m. You have a crowd. You have all this performance anxiety because you're like, the meaning of my life is defined by this open. Like all
Right.
these. There's all these external pressures that we're maybe not used to. So yeah, that'd be a really great thing to talk to Dawn about. But having worked with her a lot in the strong mind course that we have, like that course is all about basically like your mental strength before, during, and after workouts. And in it, she really, really focused. She's the one that created the entire course. In it, she really, really focuses on like the core thing that we always have to keep circling back to is what is our why, like reconnecting and reminding ourselves is like, why are we doing this? And someone's why who's training for the games is much different than, like, even when I was training for the games, like my why then was much, much different than my why now. My why now is like literally this mantra of like, just show up, because you'll stay fit, you won't get fat, and you'll enjoy your life longer. Right. Like
Right.
that's it. But in the past, it was like my why is to see what I'm truly capable of, to excel in the sport, things like that. So I think a lot of it comes back to reconnecting with the why. And then if your why doesn't have a lot of pressure on it, like if your why isn't about impressing everyone at the gym with your amazing open performance, when you reconnect with that, sometimes it could demystify that anxiety that you have. It's like, why am I doing this? Oh, I'm doing it because I like to have fun in the gym, and I want to make sure that I'm fit at 65 years old. right? Then you realize you're like, I don't need to be as anxious as I thought I did because my why isn't aligned with this open anxiety that I have. So I think it does come down to kind of reconnecting with what your why is.
Yeah, as I was thinking about it today, I was thinking, if I could help others with this was like two things I took away from today was I should have gone into that workout and used the mantra that Scott taught me, which was I get to do this today. Instead of going in with the mindset of, oh man, this is going to suck, which is what I had, I should have thought to myself, I get to do this today and been excited about it. Cause that's the feeling I get from the open, is that I get excited about getting to do it. I think the second part that I did come away with it, and I think this is kind of a good tip for open prep that we could discuss, is like you have to learn something in every workout you're doing between now and then that you can potentially apply to the open. And so I tried to walk away from this one going, all right, well, what did I learn besides it kicked my ass? Like what kicked my ass? What was it that did it? Where were the good parts? Where were the bad parts? The good parts for me, the one I did was my box jump overs were actually pretty quick for me, like they felt snappy. I didn't trip. I didn't bust a shin. I kind of finished them in the time domain that I wanted to finish on both sides of the workout, beginning and the end. But man, that combination of box jump overs immediately into wall balls was brutal. And that was my second takeaway. It's like, that's a combination I haven't worked. I haven't put those together. And I need to put those together more often between now and then. Because, when you think of open movements, you could absolutely get box jumps and wall balls in the same workout. They're very accessible movements. Every gym has boxes. Every gym has wall balls. Like, will it happen? Probably not, but it could. And, and now I've been there. So now I know what it feels like. It feels terrible, but I can prepare for it. Those are the two things I came away with today that I think I should be doing different, that I plan to do different between now and whatever date this thing launches. I didn't even look today to see when it was. But anyway, I'm just whining. I'm beat up.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's important. I mean, if you're trying to make the open something that you maximize your potential in, then it's really important to view your training sessions from now into the open as there's a lot of practice to be had. Yeah, there's going to be some fitness accumulation occurring, but a lot of it also should be practice. Like, what does it feel like when you, like, I mean, heck, even today, even though I definitely didn't try to do this, I could have looked at today's workout and been like, you know what? In the workout prep notes, he said max effort every round. And I'm going to do that even though I know it hurts my score. And that's kind of what I did is I just went as hard as possible each and every round, which by the end was a disaster, a train wreck. If I was smart and saying I'm trying to maximize my score, that's a completely different approach. And I see that a lot of times with people in their open workouts. It's like they're only comfortable doing what they're comfortable with. And unless you truly know what going max effort is, then a lot of times people aren't really prepared for that. So now, between now and the open is a great time to practice things, to say like, all right, like what would it be like? How would I do if I absolutely try to crush this workout? I'd like take a chance because you might actually get lucky and crush it. Or you might crash and burn, but at least you know what it feels like. If you only stay in your comfort zone in workouts, then a lot of times when people get stretched outside of their comfort zone in an open workout, that's when the wheels completely fall off the bus.
Did you ask for a definition of max output per round?
No.
Or did he give one at all?
No, just in the workout notes, the gym owner wrote, like, think of this as a max effort sprint, which to me is like, I'm going 100%, which is what I did. The first round, I smashed it and did it the next couple rounds. But then it caught up with me. It'd be like the equivalent, like imagine that was just 45 seconds of assault bike sprint and then 30 seconds rest for, 16 minutes, right? If you did that, eventually you're going to your rounds are going to diminish dramatically. And that's kind of what I did is I just left it all out there for round 1, 2, and 3, and then crashed and burned. If it was try to stay with the same pace the entire time, then the actual score output would have been better, but I wouldn't have crushed myself to failure basically. So it's interesting. You have to really pay attention to stimulus. And a lot of times it's worth asking the coach. So the guy who wrote the programming was not coaching today, so I didn't necessarily get the full clarification, nor did I ask. But for people who, like, when you see an AMRAP or you see 5 rounds for time, or you see some of these things, everyone automatically assumes, oh, I should just go 100%. But sometimes there might be some nuance that'd be interesting to try with. Like, imagine doing Cindy, but your goal is to accumulate the first 15 rounds as fast as you possibly can, right? Like, all of a sudden now Cindy's a different workout, because I would pace it nice and slow with quick transitions, yada, yada, yada. But if I was trying to get to 15 faster than everyone, that's crazy. That's a different workout. It kind of reminds me of the marathon row that the games did however many years back, where it was like there was 2 scores. It was a 2,000 meter row score, and then a marathon score. And it's just like, what? And they're really messing with that stimulus there. So that's something to just play around with, something to try.
It's interesting. We've both been doing this over 10 years each, and we both underestimated our workouts today. I guess it's just a testament to how easy it is to do that.
Yeah. Good programming will keep you on your toes. Like, good program is going to, like, if that workout did not have the 30-second rest in there, I probably would have done great. I would have made, like, I might have been able to maintain my lead. Like, I would have just, like, in my mind, I would have obviously paced it. Duh, it's a 16-minute workout. But because there's that 30-second rest in there, it's like, this isn't a 16-minute workout. This is some other thing that I'll somehow not get tired during. So it was really, really cool just adding that little stimulus in there. Like, I know Barbara does the same thing. Barbara is a benchmark workout, and I believe it's like a 2-minute rest between rounds or something like that. And yeah, it crushes you because the rest lures you in to the next couple rounds of sprinting, and it really, really does mess with your stimulus.
It's also interesting to me that both of these workouts are very simple, accessible movements. It's just interesting to me that you can look at a workout with simple, accessible movements, and your mind goes to that's easy. And I'm wondering if that's, again, we have to get Dawn back on because I need to ask her these questions. But I'm wondering if we do so many hard things in the gym that when we see these easy movements, your mind goes, oh, I can do that. I've done wall balls before. I've done med ball sit-ups. I've done dumbbell deadlifts, box jump overs. It's easy. It's only 10. Okay, done. Next thing you know, you're in a world of hurt, 3 rounds later. It's just, it's interesting. It feels a little bit, it's a horrible analogy, and the women watching or listening are going to probably punch me for saying this, but it's kind of like childbirth. Like, you forget the pain. It's like you always wonder, like, how could anyone have more than one baby because the first one hurt so bad? It's kind of the same thing here. Like, we've done all these movements. You forget how bad they hurt. They'll probably program them all next week, and we'll make the same dumb mistake again.
Probably will.
I'm not saying second and third children are dumb mistakes, for the record.
I was the oldest child, so obviously I'm not.
Well, I was a second child, so I'm definitely not saying it. And I have a second child, so I don't want her to think I'm saying that for sure. Hey, let's talk about the sponsor, Thirdsey. I didn't take my Thirdsey with me on my trip, and I regretted it.
Yeah, I got you out of your routine.
Oh, I was so mad. Now, to be fair, I was traveling with just a carry-on because it was only 2 days, and I didn't want to take a powdery substance with me through TSA. And it didn't matter. I got a serious rub down from the TSA agent, by the way. It was nice. Robert and I are on.
Did you take as many unlabeled as you want through TSA? That's a common. So I mean, with all the traveling that I've done, even internationally, they have swabs, and if they look at this powder and they're like, "What is this?" They just swab it to make sure it's not gunpowder, and then you're good.
I know, but I didn't like. My thought was I wanted to get through TSA quick. I didn't want them like opening my bag and checking stuff and swabbing anything, and I still got swabbed, dude. Like, dude pulled me aside, and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to pat you down now," and he patted for a long time. We're very close, very, very close. But I missed my Thirdsey, which I take every night here, and it makes me sleep like a baby. I did not sleep like a baby while I was in Raleigh, so I'm excited to be back on the Thirdsey train tonight.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I'm out of it. I need to order it again.
How are you out? I have like 4 bags here.
Clearly, Justine loves you more than me, or you're actually good at putting in requests to order it. I just forget these things.
I guess. Well, whatever works. I'm going to throw up on the screen, but if you guys want to sleep like a baby, I'm telling you, stuff's great. got no melatonin in it. It's what else in it, Ben? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, it has L-theanine. It has magnesium. It has, which is like that, like even if I don't have Thirdsy, I have that. I have like pills of magnesium and I have pills of L-theanine that I take because they'll help you sleep. Long story short, and let's see, there's GABA in it. Basically, it's a lot of precursors to really good sleep. Without the melatonin, can actually in the long term potentially inhibit your ability to sleep. So it's all the good things that help you sleep. Without all the things that could ever prevent you from sleeping in the future. So
10 grams of protein too, which I love because it often kicks me right over my protein goal for the day, which is great. I love it. But you can save 25%. Use our code SCALES, SCALEZZZ at thirdzy.com, and you'll love that stuff, man. I love it. I legit do.
I just made a note to reorder it. So I'm going to do that as soon as we're done.
I know. And then you'll be sound asleep when your ex-wife comes in wanting to know how many people you have over there sleeping with you.
God. Oh, man. I just can't say anything on this podcast anymore.
No, I like that story. I thought that was a good story.
I had been robbed, John. You can't make fun of me being robbed.
I can absolutely make fun of someone breaking into your house and not stealing the assault bike.
Well, it wasn't my house. It was my office. And
Wow.
yeah, they did not nary a piece of single equipment was touched. So
Well, to be fair, an assault bike's pretty big and heavy. Hard to just roll out of there with one of those things for sure. But
that's true.
What are you doing for security now? Are you changing? You obviously changed locks, put on new cameras. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'll get there eventually. I basically locked the door permanently by bending a piece of metal. So now the only way to get in is the garage door, which is there's a really difficult to open from the outside. Break it in unless I came back with a saw or something. And yeah, I put batteries in my Ring camera this time. So so at least I'll get a live stream of someone robbing me. And then yeah, there's really not anything to steal. So there's not even an iMac in there anymore, which I'm still shocked they didn't steal. But then someone on Instagram comment said it's very easy to track those. So as soon as you plug it in, Find My iMac kicks on, and then they'd be nailed.
Busted.
So instead, they got a red filing cabinet and a Dyson. That Dyson was pretty nice. So
this is why I don't think like a crook. I should start thinking like a crook. All right, open tips. Give me one good open tip that I need. Something you want me to start working on between now and the open. I mean, you're having to think too hard. Am I that good an athlete? You can't even come up with anything. You're like, damn, Willie, you're so good.
I mean, my open tip, I tend to sing the same tune over and over, but it's because of how adamant I am about this tip. And that is, what is one gymnastic movement that you can barely do, or that acts as an inhibitor in a workout? So like, let's say, when I say inhibitor, it's like something that stops you in your tracks in the middle of a workout. For some people, let's say there was a workout or we'll use last year's final open workout as an example. Like the workout ended with bar muscle ups and heavy thrusters, right? A lot of people, they did well in the first part of the workout. They got to bar muscle ups and they stopped because they couldn't do one. Or if they could do one, it was like just one.
Right.
And the difference between someone who's able to execute bar muscle ups consistently and someone who like struggled to get one, tens of thousands of places on the leaderboard, right? So like, let's say you have a movement like that. For a lot of people, it's something like a bar muscle up, or a section of handstand walking, which I think might be yours, John, right. Or handstand push-ups, or ring muscle ups, or maybe just chest to bar pull-ups. Like, what is something where if it pops up in the middle of a workout, you're kind of screwed? You need to learn how to accumulate reps of those. Just singles, even if it's just singles, that's fine. But you need to learn how to accumulate single repetitions of those when you're tired. Because the difference between 0 bar muscle ups and 1 or 3 or 5 is like, again, each one that you do, you're separating yourself from tens of thousands of, especially if you can get that first one. Same thing with the ring muscle up. Same thing with that section of handstand walk. Same thing. Like, it's just getting a few reps is what separates a lot of places on the leaderboard. And even whether that's a leaderboard at your gym or the overall leaderboard, it's very, very important. So find those movements that will stop you in your tracks and learn how to do at least a couple of them when you're tired. Because doing a bar muscle up fresh does not mean anything after the end of a bunch of thrusters and pull-ups. So
I'm wondering if for me it's going to be wall walks. I've been doing plenty, but I'm struggling with them at high volume, high heart rate. Like I had a workout the other day that ended with wall walks, and I wasn't even and I had a lot of time to do them. You had basically 5 minutes to do 20, and I had no shot, like none. Now, keep in mind, it's the end of an hour-long workout, so it was kind of a grueling long. I'm pretty exhausted, done a lot of stuff beforehand. But still, it was like, there's something about wall walks under a high heart rate and, a high level of stress. That's a big limiter for me.
yep.
And I also saw, by the way, in a very scary manner on the CrossFit Game site, burpee wall walks. Oh,
I did see those. Yeah, I mean, wall walks are one that's kind of like, I mean, they might continue the streak just because, I mean, especially because of how many people are like, oh, wall walks, ew. I wouldn't be surprised if they show up again. So that's another great one where it's like, they could show up in combination with handstand push-up because it just requires a wall, right? So like, I think it would be easy for them to stack, a kipping handstand push-up, a strict handstand push-up, a wall walk, a burpee wall walk. Like those things could all show up in a workout technically.
well, I'm not looking forward to it. Now I'm worried. What I am looking forward to is Wodapalooza and our cocktail party, which you'll be there, right? You come to our cocktail party.
Yeah, unless I find something better to do, I'll be there.
unless you're with those 3 or 4 people that sleep over. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, Wodapalooza is gonna be fun. You are doing the gauntlet, right? Did they get you signed up?
I'm in. I'm signed up. Same time slot, I think, as you for the RX division. And yeah, I think so. Savannah was sending me like the weight requirements for the RX division, and I was like, oh shit, those are heavy. But I think I don't know if it was cycling or one rep max or whatever, but I think I can do them all. So we'll see.
I told her to put you in intermediate for the record.
Oh, did you now?
Yes, because I thought the weights in intermediate are for real, dude. They're not like, I'm not underestimating your ability. I just
now
think
I want to look it up.
I thought she put you in intermediate, but maybe she put you in RX. I don't know. Either way, we'll be at the same time Thursday, 3 to 6. And
now I'm looking it up. I want to see what the
they're for real, dude. It's gonna be a tough one. So hopefully we have good weather and we can go at the same time and everybody can come watch. It'll be good. And then Saturday night, we're gonna have the happy hour at Downtown Strength, put on by Tupood and
Nice.
To Be Human, which is a nutrition company Tom and Jen own. And we're gonna have some very basic drinks, a lot of White Claw. It's gonna be great. We're gonna get white girl wasted. It's gonna be so much fun.
I'm so excited.
And Danny Spiegel will be there, and a couple other games athletes. Who else did I talk to? Said she might be there. Oh, it's escaping me for the moment. Oh, Moose Burger. I love her. She's the best. So
Nice.
It's gonna be fun.
All right. The clean and jerk. Okay. Be prepared for heavy loads, high skill for the highest level. Be able to hit all workouts as prescribed. Clean and jerk 275, 185-pound snatch. Oh no, okay. So that's clean and jerk. Okay, so this is just men's. I don't really understand. Okay, so it's saying 275 clean and jerk for a single, and then 185 maybe for cycling, I think, perhaps for reps. Snatch 225 single, 155 for reps, muscle up, legless rope climbs, pistols, toes to bar, chest to bar. Oh yeah, RX baby.
All right. Well, I guess you're RX.
That gets me excited just thinking about it. And then the intermediate is like 225. Yeah, intermediate's too light for me, John. I need to rely on my strength.
It was not too light for me because I looked at it and saw that 225 and I'm like, nope, I'm out. Just like that. I am out.
And it also means that I probably won't make it to the finals. So there's a perfect, I'm already ready. And then as soon as I don't make it to the finals, then I can just celebrate fitness for the rest of the weekend.
Ben, if we're in the same heat time, if one of the and often in these workouts, you'll have at least one portion of the 4 or 5 workouts where it's just like a body weight thing. So it could absolutely be the same for RX as it is for scaled. If it is, my entire workout's going to hinge around the one thing we're both doing the same thing on.
Yeah, but if you think of all the weight that I lifted previously before that event, I mean, it's almost null and void.
I'm not paying attention to any of that. I'm only going to pay attention to the part where I could potentially beat you and then hold it over your head for the next 365 days.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. It's going to be fun. I had a really good time last year. They're literally in the explanation, it's like heavyweight, high skill. That is my jam. I'm sure they'll throw in some ridiculous cardio stuff that no one wants to do for fitness. But if it is heavyweight and high skill, I'm really going to enjoy it. So we'll see.
I think we need to we got to figure out some sort of bet out of this. I don't know what, but I'm gonna think about it between now and next week when we do this, and we're gonna have to have something on the line. I just don't know what.
I'm ready.
I just don't know what.
And also, how are we going to measure it if we're in different divisions? Maybe I'll just come join your division, dude.
Maybe.
Might as well.
I think you make a hell of a scaled athlete. It'd be great. It'd be good. All right, dude. This has been fun. Sorry about your office. That does suck. As much as I've made fun of the bike, it does suck. I know that's violating, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, hopefully I can just continue my streak of only one break-in for every 32 years of existence, and we'll be good to go.
Yeah, well, maybe the cops will actually show up this time.
Yeah. He starts off the conversation like, well, first of all, I need to apologize. I'm just like, oh, gosh. But, luckily it's not too bad, and I'll get some better security in there and continue not to keep anything in there that's worth anything. And, yeah.
Props to him for owning up for it. I'm a little surprised, though, that, I mean, you're in a small town. I'm in a small town. Like, usually these small town cops, because it is quiet, and this is to their credit, like, I'm not making fun of cops, like, they're rushing into this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot going on. So, like, finally some action. Let's go,
Yeah, I mean, it could, I don't know what the call went like, but the neighbor could have been like, hey, it's a suspicious vehicle. Like, and all of a sudden now it's like, oh, it's not a break-in attempt. It's like, this person might be breaking in. I don't really know. It could just be a weird guy with a car.
Dude, I had a bank robbery once in the smallest town that I have a branch in. We're literally the only bank in this town, right? It is out in the sticks. And it got right, like, you very uniquely got robbed. Never, things like that just don't happen out there. So I get the alert on my phone. I'm like, oh, great, I got to go see what happened. So I get in my car and I drive out to the city. I get out in the sticks, and I'm not making this up. This is my point around cops. Like, when nothing happens in your city, there is no less than 10 cops in the parking lot, out of their cars, all with AR-15s over their shoulder. I'm like, I literally get out of the car. I'm like, what do you guys think's about to happen? Like, the guy looked at me. I'm like, seriously, like, what is with all this firepower? Like, you guys think this robber's going to come back to the bank today with all you
Round two, baby.
Dude, they were ready for war. It was unreal. I'm like, seriously, who brings an AR-15 to a bank robbery? I mean, come on. Like, it's not like you just carry that, on your hip. You got to go get that thing.
Well, no, a lot of officers have that in the back of their cars. Actually,
I get that, but there were 8 of them, Ben. Like,
yeah,
the robbery was over. They're long gone.
Probably like a certain protocol where, like, if this happens, you then are allowed to open the back trunk and get the AR-15. And they're like, oh, hell yeah, bank robbery. Let's open that trunk, baby.
Well, they did. They absolutely did. It was really funny. I'd never seen so much firepower. I wanted to take a photo, but I didn't think it was appropriate making fun of cops right in front of them. And, to their credit, they were, protecting my branch. So I was grateful they were there. It just seemed like a very unusual amount of firepower. So too bad that didn't happen. That could have been a much more interesting story for us.
Yeah, could have been.
Oh, well, next time when they take the assault bike.
More robberies next time on Scale and Bell.
Yeah, let's hope there are none. True crime stories on Scale and Bell. That'll be our next episode.
Hey, we could probably do a whole series on crimes committed in CrossFit gyms, or crimes prevented from CrossFit doers. So,
oh, look at that. Carlos is in the chat. Ben equals sexiest man alive. You're right, Carlos.
Don't forget the follow-up comment.
The follow-up comment is pretty good too. John equals only man sexier than Ben. Love you. Love you, Carlos.
Thank you,
definitely-
Carlos. Everyone knows that Carlos is the
Carlos,
best.
we're going to see you in Wadapalooza, and you better be taking pictures of Ben and I during the gauntlet.
That's true. We're not going to pay you, but
Yeah.
we're gonna tag you on Instagram.
Yeah. No, you don't pay professional photographers. That's not how this works. Come on, you steal their work like a normal person. Anyway. All right. Well, it was good seeing you, Ben. Good luck getting everything fixed. For everyone listening, appreciate you guys joining this week, and we'll be back next Monday. Take care.